So I did my presentation on American Sniper, and I did the mental health disorder of PTSD, or in other words, post-traumatic stress disorder. Some symptoms of PTSD that was presented in or in the movie itself was social isolation and social avoidance, multiple emotional states, guilt, sadness, depression, sometimes even happy. The use of drugs and alcohol to help ease the pain. It really doesn't help you in any way. It's just, an escape for people that are experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder. Problems concentrating and also problems sleeping. Sometimes it awakes you at night like it showed in the movie. His nightmares haunted him and it felt like it was real life for him. Another symptoms are reliving flashbacks and of the events he or she experienced. In this case, he was reliving war events that happened and that he experienced. And moods can be very unpredictable while someone's experiencing this mental illness. And it's safe to say his mood, Chris Kyle, is very unpredictable. So some examples in the film that showed post-traumatic stress disorder was that Chris Kyle, the American Sniper, received a call from his wife while he was at a bar drinking a couple beers, and that the conversation casually said that he was stateside, and she was very confused because she thought that he was still deployed in Germany or wherever they would deploy him. So she really was caught off guard by that. And in the movie, you could see that he was, sad explaining this to her because, like once you go home, I feel like it's a big thing. It's like a celebration when you come home from fighting for your country. And in this case, she was kind of like sad as well because she even mentioned like you haven't seen your kids for 9 months. And that tore him apart because what is he doing at a local bar and not his home? So that being at a bar, being avoidant from his family is, and the symptoms from social avoidance. In this case, it was his family. I guess he really wasn't ready to head home knowing that he's fighting this battle with this illness. And he didn't really want to put his children through it, especially his wife. Another example in the movie where he showed PTSD was Chris was in the living room, staring at a blank TV, completely blank, not turned on, and he was just, focusing right onto it, and all you heard was gunshots, grenades going off, people screaming, basically war going through his head. That's all he was thinking in that moment, which is pretty, terrifying. Because imagine you're just sitting in the living room and you're just hearing those noises constantly over and over again. It could be very traumatic and it could be very it could put a whole toll in your life. So in this case, he was just in his living room and there was surrounding sounds as well. There was his children playing around in the living room and he wasn't fazed by it. His wife called him a couple times and like it took him a couple times to react. So that was another example of him showing post-traumatic stress disorder. And the third final one was where he was having a barbecue at his house and he was in the backyard with his wife and where everyone was at. And his wife was trying to have an engaging conversation, but he wasn't really into it. Another symptom, having troubles concentrating. And he showed that, and she was just keep talking to him, and he was like, yeah, like one wording her, but really was just looking around, seeing if there was any danger or whatever the case may be. So in this case, his son was playing with the dog, the family dog, and they were friendly playing. Everyone was playing in the backyard, and the dog trampled the son, like knocked him over by accident, and just immediately, like even in the movie, it did a great job. You could see how his mood switched, and like I said, the mood stages could be very different. And in this case, he was like calm, and it just triggered quickly right away to like red alert. And I guess for him being at war, every little thing was like a threat if it didn't look right. So in this case, when his dog trampled his son, he took off his belt, tamed the dog, and was gonna proceed to beat the dog. And thank God the wife stopped it, because it would have been a crazy scene to watch. But in that moment, you know, I feel like he needed help, and he even knew he needed help, because you could sort of see, like, like he blacked out in that moment. So that's where he proceeded. He's like, yeah, I got to get help, and try to find the steps to fight this illness. So that was the third final scene that that really was like, wow, this guy's going through some stuff. And what do I think? How the film, did I think it portrayed PTSD correctly? And you know what? I really think it did. First of all, this, being a real movie based on a true story, a little background, Chris Kyle was the most lethal American sniper in U.S. military history. He had over like 160 kills, confirmed kills. So, he was real badass. So this is real life. This is him saying it through his own words, like what I'm telling you right now, or all the things that I've seen in the movie is real life. So that being said, I think it's real. Another reason why I think it's real, because it actually showed real symptoms, real life symptoms. Him being moody, him being avoidant, him being not socially interacting with everybody. You could really see the difference between him at war and then him going out to living a regular life. It's a huge leap, and I give credit to any war veteran that does that. And then this movie really gave me an idea of how it could be. And like I said, the symptoms that showed were real. It could be real symptoms someone could, other than Chris, experience. The therapy shown in the movie, there was him trying to seek help with a licensed doctor or psychologist. And then later in the movie, I don't want to fast, because I'm gonna end up talking about it, but you can see a little group therapy that he's doing, which is also real. It's a nice treatment for people going through this. And yeah, overall, I would say the movie did show a good job in showing what this illness is, while showing a real life example, which would be Chris Kyle's life. So, like I mentioned before, the treatments were group therapies. So, in the movie, it progressed for him to seek help, and he ended up landing in a war veteran hospital. And here at the hospital, there was a lot of people that lost their limbs, has lost buddies, has lost people on their team, like Chris Kyle has. They've seen a lot of stuff, a lot of it. And the group therapies really help Kyle open up, because what is he gonna feel like? What he's gonna explain all these stories to his wife, where his wife can't really relate, or his kids that are still young. So him going to a war veteran hospital and talk to these guys, really helped him talk and express his feelings and the emotions, what he was feeling once he got home, which ends up helping, the person going through this mental illness. And him being at the group therapy really helped him open up about, PTSD itself. It even helped other people that might have been experiencing mental illness open up as well. So I'm really a big fan of these group therapies as a treatment, because, it's not really, first of all, it's natural. It's just using your words and expressing how you feel. And I'm a big fan, because, you could, if you relate to other people, that really gives you hope that you're not the only one going through this. So in this case, the group therapy really gave, Chris sort of hope, and it made him want to help other people, like it showed in the movie. It helped. He wanted to help other people, help other war veterans. And if you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you to see it. I don't want to ruin it, but him helping other people opened up another path for him, and brought him, I guess you could say, more success as a human, because as a human, I respect that or what he did and to help other people. So yeah, the treatment like I said before, group therapies, he also, in the movies, I'm pretty sure they try to, give him medication, but he, denied it. A lot of people don't like that. They react differently. But what was very shown was the group therapies, and that was one of the treatment methods that I think really helped Kyle. So the whole summary of this movie, the summary, first of all, I think PTSD or post-traumatic stress disorder, no one should go through, not even people fighting for our country. It's a very tough disease, and like I said, let me just reinforce what it is. It's basically an illness where you relive a tragic event that happened in your past, and it keeps going in your head, and it really affected you long term. And in this case, Chris Kyle being a war veteran, him seeing the deaths, him killing a lot of people, him seeing his friends die at war with him, that's a lot. That's a lot to carry with you, and it ended up concluding that he had post-traumatic stress disorder from those events. I also took away from the movie that, or in general, that if you have this illness, seeking treatment right away helps a lot, rather than waiting until the illness builds up, and ends up, even making your life a living hell. And some people end up taking their own lives, which is sad because they can't take the pain, they can't take it anymore. But some people are tough and are willing to, help themselves out, like Chris did in the movie. It also just, shows you what PTSD is, how it could affect not only the person, but the people around you. Like, I think that's also a crazy fact where, you feel like you're going through hell, but when your family's into it, they're like going through hell with you. So I think that's just like even more sad, like your family doesn't like seeing you like this, you don't like feeling like this, and it's just like a domino effect of just pure sadness, I guess you could say. But that's the truth. And this disease is harsh, and I really want, me learning about this disease, like I really want even people to know that this is no joke. And in today's society, a lot of, just going with PTSD, in today's society, a lot of people know about it. A lot of people are educated on it. I mean, it's like it could even be I'm pretty sure I even learned this about in high school, and that was just a basic science class or health class. So a lot of people know of it. A lot of people have an idea of it, and I think in today's society, a lot of people are acceptive about it, and they really want to help people going through this. Obviously, there's even, nonprofit organizations helping people with PTSD. It's a world known thing. So I think in today's society, a lot of people know about it. And, switching it to the entertainment side, having it as a movie, for example, American Sniper, and there's plenty of other movies about mental illnesses, but specifically talking about post-traumatic stress disorder, American Sniper and the entertainment side was, very eye-grabbing. Me watching the movie, I'm a big action movie type of guy, but seeing, the sad part of the action movie, like the drama part of it, really like made me feel like damn, like that's very hard aching, and especially seeing these guys fighting for our country, it's like real sad. You feel like these guys are your superheroes or unstoppable, but no, they're real human. They're really human as well. And the entertainment side of it really, first of all, they made a good movie, and second of all, they educated people on what war is like. What our veterans are actually going through in today and in the past many years. And people end up getting, suffering from it. Not a lot of people end up, oh yeah, I'm just gonna do like 6 years of military service and come back perfectly fine. Like, no, it's more than that. There's a lot of things that hide behind the scenes, and in this case, this showed you what it was like, and I really enjoyed the movie. I recommend everyone that hasn't watched it watch it. It's a pretty old movie, not old, but